Welcome to the Tenaciously Resolute podcast. Hi, and welcome back to the Tenaciously Resolute podcast. I'm your host, Carice Nelson, and it's so nice to have you all here with me and with us here at the studio to have another episode here of the podcast. So, guys, I have a good friend. I'm not telling you I know she long time. I know she since UE 6th form. I know she long time, and that was a long time ago. But, guys, she has transformed over the years from just being simple, nice, quiet Shiann to now she is Miss Shiann Melville, owner and operator of Harmonies and Healing music therapy service. And in addition to that, she also offers a mental health service as well. So, hi, Shiann, and welcome to the podcast.
And thank you for having me here.
It is always a pleasure, guys, and I always love to see my friends that I knew like way back when, and then they're doing so many good things.
Yes, it's good to see you.
And I am so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
So, Shiann, I've been hearing a lot about your work, right? I know you were always into music.
Yes.
Since I know you,
yes,
I know you're singing. I know you're like a little pan.
Yes.
So tell me, how did you get into this music therapy, and what would have pushed you to it?
All right. So in order to give the story, I would have to start way back to probably maybe 2011, 2012. So I started my bachelor's at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And while I was there, I was able to do a course where I would work with children and adults with disabilities. And at the end of that course, we would put on like a concert to show the work that they would have done throughout the term and that kind of thing. And while I was doing that, I noticed how much I liked it, how natural it was for me. And my professors as well, they noticed, and they kind of nudged me like, hey, have you considered music therapy? And that's where it sort of started. So that's where the seed was planted. Then I returned to Tobago, and I started working at Tobago School for the Deaf, Speech and Language Impaired, and I taught steel pan there.
Okay.
Yes, so I taught steel pan there, and while I was there, I worked with children with autism, deaf students, different diagnoses, and I started noticing how working with them, just doing little music lessons, little music activities, it helped them throughout their day in different ways. So I really started considering it, and then I applied, I did my research, I applied to a school, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Wow. But it is so interesting when you said, you said it was the School of Language Impaired, Deaf and Language. Deaf children benefit from music therapy. How?
Well, anybody can benefit from music therapy. And I think anybody can benefit from music therapy because most people like music. I think there's at least one genre of music that everybody would gravitate to. And with music therapy, it's not just, okay, well, we are listening to classical, okay, we are listening to jazz. It's really about the client and what they like, and we use what you like to plan our treatment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for a deaf student, how does music translate to them if they're not hearing?
All right. So, music is vibrations.
Yeah.
And the steel pan that our forefathers would have designed, there are a lot of vibrations. So they were able to either hold on to the steel pan. So I would demonstrate. They hold on to it. They feel, they hear it. And
via their fingertips. So they hear it from the vibrations.
And they mimic. Yeah, it's that simple. It's that simple.
They enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming this is some sort of pattern recognition.
That's part of it as well, yes.
Okay, that is interesting.
Yes, and you also know that as a deaf person, other senses are heightened and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, that is very interesting.
Yes.
I was always wondering, a music therapist in a space with deaf children, how does that help them?
Yes.
But I'm happy that you conveyed that. That's how you did. So I know now they're getting it through the rhythm, through the vibration.
Yes.
Excellent. So when you would have applied and gotten through with heading abroad, how did you feel? Leaving home, starting in a new space.
I was excited. I would say I was excited. New beginnings. So I really was looking forward to starting something new and coming back to Tobago with that degree to continue doing the work that I would have started.
Okay, that is quite cool. I'm wondering, when you got out there would have been a lot of differences, right? I'm assuming there's some culture shock involved.
Yes.
I'm assuming that music for them versus music for us would have been quite different. So tell me a little bit about your experience.
So I didn't expect to get a culture shock because I was used to traveling to New York all the time. But I never traveled to that part of New York. So that would have been upstate New York. Totally different culture. I wasn't seeing people looking like you and I a lot.
Oh.
And I felt very isolated. Honestly, I felt very isolated. A lot of my classes, I was the only person of color. And that brought its own feelings and that sort of thing because, I didn't feel like I could relate to anybody around me.
In that space, yeah.
In terms of the music, so the program would teach you different genres of music. You have to learn tons of songs and that kind of thing. But I didn't do a lot of Caribbean music.
Oh.
Yeah, because I want to believe where the program was located. So they more so focus on, like, let's say your country style and those types of music, those types of songs. So when I returned here, I had a lot of readjusting to do. A simple thing like the way I learned to play the guitar in the States, the way we would play the guitar here, calypso style. I can't come and bring that.
Everybody
to people
could be
here.
looking at you like, are you okay?
Yeah, what kind of strum is that?
You might get it in the hotel industry. They would be able to accept something like that.
Yes. So honestly, I'm still learning and adjusting.
Yes.
I'm still learning and adjusting, and doing the work.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. So you would have said that, your service encompasses not just music therapy, but also mental health services. How did that happen?
All right. So the degree that I did, the master's that I did, a part of our program is focused on counseling, psychotherapy, and that aspect. So if I would have stayed there a little longer, I would have gotten, extra credits to diagnose in the state of New York and that sort of thing. So I am qualified to do counseling, music psychotherapy. So that's why you have the ending of the business name, mental health services.
Excellent. Yes. So with that being said, in Tobago, and with you working in this space with different persons and what would you have observed? What do you think about the impact of your service on the communities that you serve?
All right. So far, I think that people are slowly understanding the benefits of music therapy. I think at first, a lot of people, they are hesitant what music therapy could do for me or my child because it's unheard of. They haven't heard about it before. How is this going to work? Is it me sitting and listening to music for an hour? What does it look like? So I think with a little bit of education and people coming in, having like a trial session and seeing what they can get out of it, they are more open to it. So slowly people are accepting it as a form of therapy.
Yeah.
An official form of therapy. We have other creative arts therapies. We have art therapy. We have dance therapy. We we have drama therapy, and they all have their place in the world when it comes to treatment of different things that we would deal with from the day to day.
Yeah, that's excellent. So if I was supposed to ask you to walk me through a music therapy session mentally, and let's briefly, capture the essence of what this would be. Because I assume that a lot of persons don't really know if they were to tell you your child has to go to music therapy. But I go, what's that? What's that? Like something that people just do?
Right.
So if someone is listening to the podcast and they are wondering, hey, what is this music therapy thing is about? What is it about? What am I walking into? Walk me through a session.
Right. So first of all, we didn't talk about what music therapy is. Right. So music therapy is the clinical use of music and musical elements to meet a non-musical goal. So what this really means is when we get into that space, we are not playing an instrument to become a proficient musician, right? That is a part of the therapeutic process. Let's say we are working on self-esteem. We are doing different interventions to work towards meeting your goal of whatever that goal might be, whatever your need is. So that's the first thing. In terms of what a music therapy session would look like, it's different. It's different it's different based on the individual, right?
So each client demands different things.
Yes. So let's say you come to me and you say, Shiann, I know someone that might benefit from music therapy. I would ask you a couple of questions, why you think so, what's going on, what are their needs, and if you can't answer me, they would contact me or the caregiver or whatever. We have a consultation, and then the first thing we will do is have a session where we do an assessment and we see if music therapy is the right fit for that person, because it might not be the right fit. So we see if that's the right fit, and once it's the right fit, then I can go ahead and start formulating goals and treatment plans and all of that, and then we officially start sessions. So yes, so it would look different. It really depends on the setting. Some settings we might be doing a lot of music listening, active music listening. Sometimes, depending on the session, we would do a lot of, playing of instruments and that sort of thing. So it really depends on the setting and the needs.
Okay, yes. Very interesting. So I'm assuming that music therapy probably plays a significant role in counseling of children. So I know that it is an activity that you could immerse yourself into it.
Right.
And children often learn by playing, right? So I'm wondering if you have children that are your clients, how have they reacted to this service?
Right. So the beautiful thing about music therapy, I would say a lot of times they don't even realize that they are putting in the work, because it seems like it's fun, it's natural. So we're doing different activities, and sometimes they don't even realize that our time has passed, the time is finished, and we're done for the day. So I would say it's easy to jump into. It's not something where you feel sort of anxious to go into, okay, I'm going into therapy session, what would it look like, and that type of thing. So yeah.
That's very interesting. The reason why I asked, right? I know for a lot of persons, when they hear therapy, oh gosh, that mad people, damn me, I want to deal with that. Yes. And then you're hearing so many derivatives of counseling these days, dance therapy, music therapy, so many different versions of it. Yes. I'm wondering how the public reacts to it, and what it does to their esteem, because a lot of people feel some type of way. What do you think?
Well, first of all, let me say therapy is for everyone. Therapy is for everyone, and there is a type of therapy for everybody. So you might not benefit from the traditional sit down on the couch type therapy.
And your worries and your sorrows and your concerns.
Right? But you might benefit from a creative arts therapy. You might benefit from another type of therapy. So, yeah, therapy is for everyone. In terms of the Tobago space, I think, it's a cultural thing. We are hesitant to start any kind of counseling, any kind of therapy services.
What's that?
I think because we were kind of programmed to think that once you're going therapy, something wrong, right? And I would tell my friends sometimes if I could go to therapy just because I am having a challenge with a particular issue, as in, all right, let's say this month was slow, business was slow this month, and I need to come up with some strategies. Your therapist might be able to help, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Your therapist might be able to help. So it's not a, woe is me, oh, I feel in this type of way. That's not the only time when you go to therapy.
Yeah.
And I think our culture, we think that we should only go when something is wrong.
Yeah.
The relationship start to go down a little bit. You feel, all right, let me go to couples therapy. You know what?
So
It
it's
should
more
be
of
a
a
part.
journey. It's a
Yes.
partnership.
Yeah,
type
it
of-
should be a part of. It should be a part of our life. It shouldn't just be when something has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we really have to. We have to decolonization.
Yeah.
The decolonization of the way that we see counseling, because it was introduced to us as a way to fix extreme problems, and it's fair when people hold on to that frame of thought, frame
Yeah.
of mind, because it was their initial interaction of it. But now we're seeing, things are evolving. It's getting a little bit more fluid, so people can tap into things differently. So a lot of us in Tobago, we dance culturally. That might be a way for you to express
Yes,
your
yes.
feelings. And, as you get older, maybe you're not dancing as much. A creative therapy might allow you to express that.
Correct.
So I could see how it may start to interface very nicely with people who have a very dynamic, expressive
Yes.
background.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. So music therapy Tobago, it might be a good fit for you or your child.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm speaking like would you have had interactions going forward with like secondary schools and things of that sort? How did they react to it?
So I actually haven't done any work in the secondary schools as yet per se, because my niche right now is people with disabilities. So I more lean towards special education, right? But not as yet. I haven't started working with teenagers in this space as yet. Teenagers as in our neurotypical teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is fine. That is fine. But I hope that in your future that you
Yes.
do consider it.
Yes.
Because I could see that they would probably like something like this.
I think so too, yes.
Yeah. But with persons with special needs, when you're tracking their progress using music therapy, what is something that stands out to you?
What is something that stands out to me? All right. So let's say they are in their classroom and the teacher has certain things they want them to accomplish by the end of the day. For whatever reason, that route might not be working for them. And when you come into therapy, we can work on things like math in music therapy. Yeah, different things, right? So we might create a song to make it easier and help them remember whatever they need to remember. So
That is interesting.
yeah.
You know what my mind just traveled to? There is like a child show. Is it Gracie's Corner? And I'm starting to wonder if all these beats, if they have been intentionally designed for these children.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, that it now clicked in my mind, because sometimes we just think, we vibe, this song good. The children gonna pick up on it because it's rhythmic.
Yeah.
But I could see the interface.
If you
happening.
think about it, when we were in primary school, they would have used music to teach us things all the time. we might learn a song to learn multiplication or timetables and that kind of thing.
You remember when you had to learn like a 5 timetable.
Exactly.
The first thing was like 5, 10, 15,
Yes,
20, 20,
yes.
right? Because they had this beat, and before you knew it, you knew the whole 5 timetable, and you didn't even know 3 times good, but you knew 5, and you don't know 7, but you know 5.
Yes.
You know,
and that works because music activates all areas of the brain.
Oh,
yes. So when teacher might just be writing on the board and talking, 1 times 5 is somebody that might not connect with somebody. But as soon as you bring in that musical element, that rhythmical element, and then the different tempo, different dynamics, those are elements of music that we use in our sessions.
Yeah. That is very interesting. I'm so happy to hear that. So music therapy feels like it is accessible to all.
Yes, I would say it is accessible to all. Yes.
And have you noticed adults enjoying it? Have you interacted with them any at all?
So I have not done a lot of work with adults just yet in the Tobago space. Any work that I would have done would have been short term, but I can tell you that they gravitate to it a lot, and they are willing to participate in the sessions that I would have done. They are willing to participate in the sessions.
Wow, that is interesting. This is a positive step for us here in Tobago where counseling is concerned. I keep asking you these expansive questions because I want to know if we're heading down this path. It's interesting because at the end of the day, I mean, counseling is for everyone, as you would have said, and that is so true. And you want to know if these different versions can truly meet the needs and meet people where they're at. Yeah.
I think the first step is being willing to try it. That's the first step. Being willing to try it. And when we go to that first session, we go with an open mind, and you never know. That's where we start, and we can get somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
So Shiann, let me pick your brain for a moment. You've been doing this for a little while.
Yeah.
What is one of your most memorable experiences with music therapy?
Ooh, I have so many. Give me like 1 minute to think. Memorable moments. I think some of my most memorable moments are working with non-verbal clients. As in, let's say they are 4 years old, 5 years old, and non-verbal. You might hear some vocalizations, but not necessarily words or phrases, right? And moving from not saying anything at all, maybe just screaming, and then you're saying hello or good morning or mom or whatever the words are. I think it really feels like you're doing the right thing, and for me, it really feels like I am in the right field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Because, when you said that, non-verbal kids, the first thing that came to my mind, oh my God, these children really screaming on the place. Nobody.
Well, screaming is a way to communicate to people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, non-verbal people are frustrated because they can't vocalize like us. So that's one way to communicate.
Well, none of us here in this island, they never know that was a way to communicate. No, because, when you think of it, okay.
Think about babies.
Back in the day, right?
Think about
back
babies.
in the day when you were growing up and thing. No, we didn't have all these terms like non-verbal and ADHD and, ADD and all that. It was just Duncy or what was the other term they always had. The terms were much rougher, and this child misbehaving.
Yeah.
We didn't have the language, the counseling language to describe the different symptoms that were presenting in these children. Right? So, school of the deaf, Down syndrome, Lord, forgive me. That was literally it. That was it back then.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see the intermingling and the growth of people coming out of those spaces.
Yes.
Because I think back then, when you couldn't speak or you couldn't hear, it was just that you can't speak, you can't hear. If you can't see, you can't
You're
see.
dumb.
You're
that's
dumb.
the word. That's the term that they use.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Right?
dumb. Yeah.
But to know that you may have a child now and the child may be screaming, and you could do music therapy, you know, and the child is interfacing with these rhythms and these new sensations and, you know, new auditory patterns.
Right.
They can now start leaning into forming their words. That is amazing. That is
and
amazing.
That's just one example. I can give so many examples, but I might not leave here this evening.
Yes, she could be here whole night. But it is, I like to see that, because at the end of the day, you know, you don't want another generation to really be lost or fall to the level of their disability.
Yes.
Right? And I feel as though for far too long that has happened. I could think of maybe persons who had disabilities in our grandparents' age. Oh my goodness. You know, the support systems were probably non-existent.
Yeah.
You know? So it's nice to see that it's not just, you know, this person and put them in a corner to sit down someplace, you know, but it's more involvement and more activities to kind of bring them into having a more regular life.
Yes, I think slowly we are moving towards an inclusive society. I think people are getting it. People are understanding that gone are the days where because you have a disability, you just have to stay at home or you can't go here. A lot of my students, they have active lives. They have full lives. They live full lives, just like you and I. So their disability is not keeping them back in any way.
Yeah, I definitely believe you. I recall a memory of going to, I think it was World Down Syndrome Day, and they had like a function, and there was this young lady that came out of the States, and she was in a relationship. She went and she did her degree.
Yes.
She got married. She did the feature speech, and I was like, you could see them 21 chromosomes, like because you know that is how they present. They have that more rounded face, and you know you could see it on her. And she was like, "Yeah, I have a job, I work."
Yes, and
you know,
the thing is, in order to get to that place, they need the support. They need the support. So more than likely she would have gotten the support from her parents, her community,
from very young.
And yes, her community. And then there are universities around the world that create programs just for people with disabilities, so they don't have to, they don't have to worry about keeping up with the neurotypical classes and that kind of thing, but they are able to do their work and receive their diploma at the end and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and then they also extend them support systems.
Correct.
So if even in the traditional classrooms, like I'm so amazed now to hear that you could get an aid. What?
Yeah.
We
are moving in the right direction. We are moving in the right direction.
So amazing. So when I think of it, there are many students that might have, you know, ADHD and the brain is always on the move and they're hyperactive and all of these things. And you can have somebody working with you to convey things to you in the way that you could consume them best.
Yes.
You know? And all these different therapeutic interventions, they're bleeding into our education system, which is fantastic. That is what we actually need.
Yes, I think we are moving in the right direction.
Yeah, that kind of intermingling and, you know, crossing, you know, of the different bodies of thought and school. It is fantastic. And I think that, honestly, if we continue down that path, we'll definitely see, like, leaps and bounds coming out from persons with disabilities heading into the future. So, Shiann, how could we book with you? If it is that we need some music therapy and mental health services, how can we get onto you?
All right. So, on social media, same name, Harmonies and Healing Music Therapy. My number, 702-8755. And that's about it. Once you reach out to me, on phone, via phone or online, you will get me.
We could get you on WhatsApp as well, right? Right. So, guys, if you all are interested in music therapy, you have a child, they may have a little disability, and you feel that Shiann is the right fit for you, and I'm telling you, Auntie Shiann or Miss Melville, she would definitely, you see how she's nice and soft spoken? In person, she's just as loving and just as calm. So if you know that you need that type of energy around you and you feel as though you'd like to access her services, please reach out to her. We will definitely link her business in our show notes on Instagram.
Thank you so much.
And we'll tag her on Facebook. So guys, I really truly hope that you would have learned a lot about music therapy. Shiann, is there any closing words that you have for us?
I feel like you need to invite me back for a part 2.
I feel like you could come back. You know how many guests I just started telling me how to come back? So I'll put you down on the list, right? I'll definitely put you down on the list. And if you have any upcoming events, feel free to shout me and I will definitely feature them for
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So guys, as I usually say, stay tenaciously resolute in all that you do and have a fantastic week ahead. And call she, oh gosh, call her. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to the Tenaciously Resolute podcast.